Reservations at our restaurant. Dressed like that. You must be joking.
The manager standing in front of me said with a mocking tone,
Must have mistaken us for the food stands at the church next door, huh?
I definitely made a reservation at this restaurant to propose to the woman beside me. It was stated that there's no dress code, yet the manager in front of us is looking down on our attire. If this were work, I could have retorted immediately. I did not fight back, but she started to laugh. My name is Steve Johnson. I'm a 37-year-old businessman, a single, mediocre man with nothing to boast about. But there's a woman I'm seriously considering marrying. I was a nondescript student during my school days, inexperienced in romance, with a lackluster love life post-employment. I convinced myself that being single was fine and have been dedicated to my job ever since. However, a few years ago, I met a woman by chance and we've been dating ever since. Her name is Katie Line. She's 8 years younger, vibrant, and adorable. The 8-year age difference is, on closer thought, quite substantial. After all, when I became an adult, she was still carrying a backpack to elementary school. Considering this, it's scary how the 8-year difference feels insignificant once you become an adult. I constantly feared that if a younger, more attractive, and competent man appeared, she would leave me instantly. However, it was Katie who confessed her feelings to me. Her affection provides some reassurance, but the age difference remains a significant concern. Katie confessed because of my job performance. As I've said before, I'm a dull man with nothing to boast about. Therefore, I dedicated everything to my work. My hard work and honesty continued to pay off, maintaining top performance. She said she fell in love watching me work so diligently. Honestly, I was happy. But the age difference concerned me first and foremost. I'm like an old man to you, Katie. Wouldn't you have more fun with someone your own age? Indeed, many times, I find the conversations of her peers incomprehensible. Their slang confuses me, and I can't keep up with the latest trends or popular characters. It's constant culture shock.
I'll decide what I find enjoyable. I believe a life with Steve can be fulfilling. I have no intention of changing my mind.
Right?
So, please be with me. You won't regret it. I'll make you realize how fun it is to be with me.
She said, looking into my eyes, and we started dating. Around the time we started calling each other Steve and Katie, I realized that I was enjoying life as Katie said I would. Life with Katie feels fulfilling and illuminating. I can't imagine a life without her now. So before someone else takes her away, I decided to propose. A few days after making my decision, I invited her for a date, like usual. I would pick her up in my car as always. Having Katie laughing joyfully in the passenger seat, we went for a drive and after a joyful ride, we went to a buffet that I had reserved in advance, which used organic vegetables. Their seasonal vegetable grill were, as rumored, delicious, and we were fully satisfied. After enjoying lunch, we went shopping, and I bought Katie the things she said she wanted.
Are you sure?
Katie asks a bit surprised, and I just smile at her. I just got a bonus. Remember, today is special.
Oh my. Thank you, Steve.
Katie seems to be satisfied with my reply and looks at me with upward glances and hesitantly points to another item.
So, this one too?
Even her getting carried away and asking for more seems cute, and it appears I am completely smitten with Katie. After shopping, we went around seeing various things, calling it sightseeing. And when I saw that we were probably tired from walking, I invited her to a cafe I had researched in advance. It is a shop that became popular on social media and is famous for its pancakes. I'm not that fond with sweets, but Katie is keen on trends and particularly enjoys trying out sweets as soon as she can get them.
I've been wanting to try the pancakes from this cafe.
So, she happily devoured the hearty pancakes. Never underestimate a woman's stomach, it's truly the case here. Dinner is already reserved, so while being mindful of the time, we head to the arcade Katie wants to go to. We enjoyed rhythm games and shooting games, getting absorbed without a care for our age. It's been a while since I've had this much fun. Katie is also laughing joyfully, so I'm more than satisfied. And then, it's time for the main part of the date, the dinner. I had reserved a high-end French restaurant, known for its good reviews. This place is rated not only for their cuisine, but also for its amazing night view. And I plan to propose to Katie here and give her a ring. It may seem like I'm putting on airs, and some may say it's pretentious for a grown man, but it's important to me. When the time comes, we head to the hotel where the restaurant is located. When we go to the top floor by elevator, everything is dazzling, and it seems not only I but also Katie is overwhelmed. However, we can't stay in front of the elevator forever, so I take Katie's hand and go to the restaurant reception. "Excuse me, I have a reservation under Johnson." When I speak to the woman at the reception, she says, "Thank you, Mr. Johnson, let me check. Please wait a moment." We are attended to politely, and Katie and I stand on the side of the entrance, waiting to be guided. However, just a few seconds later, the woman who came back had a slightly troubled look, and I wondered what was wrong as I waited for a response.
Mr. Johnson, I am extremely sorry, but we did not have a reservation under your name.
Hearing that there was no reservation under my name, my mind went blank for a moment. However, I was certain I made a reservation, so there must be some mistake, and I composed myself. I had made the reservation online this time, so I quickly showed the woman the reservation screen on my smartphone as proof. The woman also saw the screen, confirmed the reservation, apologized, and asked us to wait a moment before bringing over a man who seemed to be the manager.
Oh, can't believe such mix-ups really happen.
Yay, I'm a bit surprised. Katie and I talked about this as we waited. Such a mishap would probably become an unforgettable memory with time.
I'm very sorry, Mr. Johnson.
When the woman called us and we looked up, a man with a manager tag was standing next to her. He glanced us over from head to toe and sneered. I was irritated by his attitude but managed to keep my cool for the moment. However, his subsequent remark nearly set me off.
A reservation, you say?
Yes, your staff has already checked it.
Dressed like that.
I thought he was being very condescending. The woman who had assisted us seemed taken aback too.
I thought maybe you confused us with the food stand next door.
Food stand?
Yes, there's a church next to this hotel. They're having a fall festival, and there are food stands set up. That's where you made a reservation, right?
He said with a smirk, not treating us like customers at all.
Coming to this restaurant without even considering the dress code. Really?
I was momentarily stunned by his remark, but quickly pulled up the restaurant's website to show him the screen. The website says there is no dress code. Please come in any attire. That's why I came without dressing up. Nevertheless, I'm still wearing a jacket, though without a tie or pocket square, and I've requested Katie to wear a modest smart casual dress she showed me on a previous date. If there's no dress code, our attire should be more than sufficient.
Huh? You can't be serious.
The manager's tone, laced with laughter, was blatantly mocking us.
You took that statement at face value. Oh, pardon me. That's absurd, isn't it? This is a high-end French restaurant in a top-tier hotel.
I was at a loss for words, being ridiculed to this extent, and fell silent. I could voice my opinions and objections if this were a professional setting, but being a personal date, I find myself unable to say anything. Feeling pathetic and helpless, I wondered if we should just leave and clenched my fists in a feeling close to despair. I felt terribly sorry for Katie. Embarrassed to have brought her to such a place, I gently looked up. Huh? I thought she would be furious, but Katie had a fearless smile on her face. She stepped closer to the manager with a soft chuckle and said something unexpected.
Could I have your name, please? Thank you for working so hard until today.
What?
At Katie's words, the manager raised one eyebrow eloquently.
Your name. What is it?
Rich Thompson. Why?
And Manager Thompson replied as if muttering,
I'm Katie. Oh, my pen name is Catherine. Just so you know.
Katie, with her gleeful smile, conveyed this to Thompson, who didn't bother hiding his contemptuous expression, looking down on her and thinking, what is she talking about? At that, Katie gave Thompson a broad grin, narrowing her eyes in amusement. Thompson stared at Katie for a while, but suddenly, as if realizing something, his face turned pale in shock.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Where had his earlier attitude gone? Thompson apologized loudly, sweating a lot.
We will prepare your table immediately. So?
That's fine.
Interrupting Thompson's statement, Katie let out, holding my hand and pulling me toward the elevator. Fortunately, the elevator was still on this floor, so we got on right away. Behind us, we could hear Thompson saying, I am truly sorry. But Katie completely ignored him, and we left the hotel. Until we left the hotel, I was utterly unable to grasp the situation. What just happened? Who is Katie? Although there were many things I was curious about, Katie, still holding my hand, walked in silence to the shrine next to the hotel.
Oh, Steve.
What?
They really are having a festival. There are so many stalls. Let's go check it out.
Smiling, Katie suggested we explore, and though I had unpleasant feelings about the situation, I decided to enjoy the moment. It was late, and most of the stalls were starting to pack up, but we peeked into the ones still open and bought some things that caught our eye. The main events of this autumn festival must have been during the day. Though it was a festival without fireworks, hot dogs and crepes that we bought were really delicious. In the car, while I was dropping Katie home, I apologized for today's incidents. I'm sorry about today. I didn't expect things to turn out like this.
It wasn't your fault, Steve. The restaurant is to blame. We didn't do anything wrong.
I felt happy at Katie's kind words defending me. In the end, I didn't get the chance to give her the ring I had in my pocket. With a small sigh, I saw Katie chuckle.
Hey, you have tomorrow off, right? Let's go on another casual date.
Perhaps worried about my low spirits, she made a suggestion. I'll give her the ring the next chance I get. Yeah, all right, I'll pick you up tomorrow. With that promise, the day came to an end. The next day, as promised, I go to pick up, and surprisingly, Katie says, "There's a place I want to go for lunch. Is that okay?" So I agree, and we spend the time until lunch driving around. The lunch place Katie wanted to go to, shockingly, was the hotel where we had a tough time the day before. Moreover, following Katie, she says we are going to dine in that restaurant. Why?
After what happened yesterday, the restaurant called. We would like to offer you a free service.
I was puzzled but followed her to the top floor. In front of the restaurant, the same lady as yesterday was waiting and said, "We have been expecting you. Welcome," and she led us inside. I was on guard, expecting that rude manager, Thompson, to come out, but our waiter was a different man.
My name is Smith, the general manager.
Unlike Thompson, Smith, with his gentle and polite attitude, escorted us to a nice seat. It's daytime now, but the view from the top floor of the hotel is still awesome. I became a little melancholy, missing to see this scenery as a nightscape last night. Regardless of my feelings, the dishes are served one after another. It's on the house. We were offered wine, but since I drove there, I declined, and Smith immediately accommodated.
This is also well reputed.
With a smile, he served us freshly squeezed orange juice. The dishes served, and the orange juice too, were really delicious. Forgetting about the manager Thompson for a moment, this restaurant indeed deserves to be called high class. I was very satisfied with the excellent hospitality. At the time of payment, we were really told the bill is on us, and instead, we were guided to a room in the hotel. This room also looks expensive. As I was waiting and thinking out of place thoughts, Mr. Smith from earlier came in.
Mr. Johnson, Ms. Line, we sincerely apologize for causing discomfort to both of you yesterday. Thompson has been fired immediately. This will not happen in the future.
I indeed thought he's not here, but didn't expect he was fired immediately. What on earth happened? I was confused, not understanding the situation, when Katie explained to me.
You see, I write articles.
Articles?
Yes, I post articles with the pen name Catherine, giving impressions and opinions from a customer's point of view. The first article I wrote was, "Hotels that even a teenager like me can go to." I think.
Katie seems to be recalling that time, her gaze slightly upward.
I initially posted it on a trending blog, really just as a hobby. But quite a few people read it. The access count kept increasing, and it became a hit.
That's amazing. Certainly, if we are talking about when Katie was in her teens, that was about the time when starting and making public blogs became a trend. To put it a certain way, it was a period when everyone was talking about blogs and social media.
Then, I started getting offers from various hotels saying, "We would like you to write about our hotel too." I've had influence since then, and it still persists.
Katie is now 29. If she's been influential for so long, her writings must be quite good.
Of course, it's not just the hotels, but also the restaurants and cafes inside them seem to be quite influenced, right?
Right?
I never wrote about this restaurant that you brought me to, but I did accept offers from this hotel and published articles about it.
Yes, we are grateful to Katie for writing about our hotel. She also mentioned our cafes and restaurants in her pieces.
Smith, who had been silent until now, added this supplementarily. So, information about a writer named Catherine will cover this in an article must have circulated to Thompson, who was the manager at that time. That explains why his approach drastically changed.
Our restaurant staff operating within our hotel are grateful to Katie. Recently, even if guests use the hotel, many prefer to dine out.
I kind of understand the reason. Spending money at the hotel to have a cheaper meal is conceivable. And when you hear high-end French cuisine, there's inevitably an attached dress code. And when you hear high-end French cuisine, there's inevitably an attached dress code. Changing into proper attire and having a meal with formalities can indeed feel restrictive.
Some guests misunderstand and think they cannot enter without formal attire, especially if it's on the top floor of the hotel. However, after seeing Katie's article, the information that casual attire is acceptable circulated, and gradually we had more guests.
Seeing Smith talk so happily, I could genuinely feel the gratitude towards Katie. When I was looking for a French restaurant that doesn't require formal attire, this restaurant came up first, and it was written by a woman. I didn't think it was Katie's article.
Oh,
Saying it's a hobby and doing it since you were teens. That's amazing. I respect that.
thanks, Steve.
From her teens, Katie has been saving money from part-time jobs and persistently doing what she wants. She looks cool, and I fell for her all over again. We left the hotel and parked the car in the mall parking lot as Katie wanted to go shopping again. Observing Katie, she diligently searches the addresses of the places she wants to go and inputs them into the GPS. Even when I say my paycheck has come in, she never demands expensive things, just insists on things that are easy for me to buy. Though the amount of salary is different between us, considering the total income from her successful side job, I can't help but think it might not be much different from mine. Hey, Katie.
What's up?
I know I'm like this, but if I proposed to you now, what would you do? I asked tentatively.
What?
At Katie's reaction, I thought, I messed up. But looking at Katie, her face was turning bright red. Can I be hopeful? Katie, would you marry me? I held both of Katie's hands and raised my voice to propose directly.
Yes.
Fast forward a few years. We are married but have chosen not to have children out of respect for each other's desires, to continue to work hard at our jobs and hobbies. However, Katie still teases me every wedding anniversary, saying, "Our important proposal was inside a car, parked in a shopping mall's parking lot. You remember?" Come on, I said I'm sorry. I do feel embarrassed about that blunder, but it's a good memory. I think it's like us to have that incident at the restaurant back then. All's well if we're happy from here on out. I am living the most fulfilling life right now.